Hey everybody, it's Kay back again today with another question. We are focusing on respiratory in this question. So we have your patient is intubated and receiving mechanical ventilation. His settings are assist control of 16, tidal volume of 450, FiO2 is 60%, and a PEEP of 8 centimeters. Now here's his ABG. ABG reveals pH of 7.16, PCO2 of 24, PO2 of 60, and bicarbonate of 9. The nurse should anticipate which of the following? Okay, so let's talk about this for a second. So do we want to A, increase the tidal volume, B, decrease the ventilatory rate, C, increase the PEEP, D, increase the FiO2, or E, correct the metabolic acidosis? So what is the priority best answer here? Take a moment and think about it. Okay, I give you a little bit more time on this one because this one requires you to think through a lot of different things, right? So we have this guy with a metabolic acidosis, clearly, right? PCO2 is 24, so clearly hyperventilating, okay? Clearly hyperventilating. Bicarb is 9, pH is 7.16, so our issue is a metabolic acidosis. Now, PCO2, he's obviously compensating, right? Increasing the respiratory rate to compensate for the underlying metabolic acidosis. We don't want to do anything to mess with that respiratory rate, right? We don't want to do anything to mess with that. So we need to have some hyperventilation in order to correct a metabolic acidosis, do we not? So we're not going to mess with the tidal volume, we're not going to mess with the ventilatory rate. Let's talk about oxygenation. His PO2 is at 60. So it's not like the best thing ever, but look, he's on 60% FiO2 and 8 of PEEP. So should our focus then be on increasing the PEEP or increasing the FiO2? Not at this point. I mean, anything below a PO2 of 60 associated with clinical signs and symptoms, we say that somebody has hypoxemia. This person is already on an FiO2 that kind of makes you bristle a little bit because it's 60% FiO2, so we really don't want to crank that up. Granted, you know, the PEEP is at 8, we have some wiggle room there, but still we are not focusing on FiO2 and PEEP, we are not focusing on the main problem. The main problem here is this guy is severely metabolically acidotic. In fact, with a pH of 7.16, it's an emergency level low acidosis. And I tell you what, when you have a pH that's less than 7.2, if you have catecholamines running into this patient to maintain his blood pressure, you're going to be, having some issues here. Because in an acidotic environment, catecholamines don't work well. And so we've got to work on getting that acidosis corrected. So E is the answer here. Correct the underlying metabolic acidosis. So is it a perfusion problem? We don't even have a set of vitals to work with here. But if it's a perfusion problem and that's what's causing the underlying metabolic acidosis, we need to buff up perfusion, right? So identifying what it is that's causing the metabolic acidosis and correcting that is extremely important. And that is our answer, E, correct the metabolic acidosis. So guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Please come and check out my membership community on my website. You can head over there by entering khappypresents.com/membership and see what I have to offer. I have quite a few courses. I have the critical care medications. I have also the courses on hemodynamics and hemodynamic monitoring. This month, which is May, I am also going to be putting out a deep dive into the Surviving Sepsis Campaign guidelines for managing what is best practice for managing sepsis. We're going to have a sepsis case study that I'm going to record. And I also, for this month's article of the month, I am doing one on crystalloid solutions, lactated ringers versus 0.9 saline. Come on over and check out my membership community, and I will see you soon with another question. Thanks for joining me today. Bye-bye.